Rob Barbieri here with you on Sports Page 68, talking to 49er legend Ronnie Lott. It's tough to call somebody a legend when he's still playing, but Ronnie certainly deserves that moniker because nobody did it better for the 49ers or anywhere else as a safety. Let me just talk, before we get into talking a little more football, tell me about the restaurants. I want to at least give you a chance to plug the restaurants. Now, how many have you got now?
I've got a couple of restaurants in the East Bay. We have Piemonte Ovest, and we just opened up OT Cafe over in Emeryville, and I'm going to be over there and, watching the Warriors play and watching all the sporting events. We got a unbelievable large screen over there, and got great food. It's a good place to just come hang out, check out sports. And
you spend some time there yourself then?
Definitely. I'm not going to be able to be there this weekend, but we're going to have a little Super Bowl thing going on. We're going to be raffling off Jerry Rice football, Steve Young's cleats.
Where is the place again, Ronnie?
It's in Emeryville off of Powell Street at the Emeryville Public Market, and it's called the OT Cafe. It used to be, it used to be a place called Politics, and we took it over, changed it into a nice restaurant. We have a dance hall there. Like I said, Nelly comes over there and does a little scouting every once in a while. I heard this is something that one of our the managers told me, that he comes in there and checks out who he's going to play. So I appreciate that, Nelly, for going in there. But
all right.
It's a nice place, and it's just another opportunity to try to do something and try to just get my feet a little wet into the business world.
Well, I hope things go well. Let me ask you a little bit about the Jets now. How did you feel about Kozlik getting fired?
Well, I tell you, I was a little disappointed because I thought Coach Kozlik was starting to build something there, especially after what happened to him the year before because of the injury to Dennis Byrd and having to deal with that situation. And they just had some problems the year before with injuries, and it just wasn't really a good year. And then last year he was able to bring in Boomer. He was able to bring in Leonard Marshall. He had a decent draft. And I thought that we were going in the right directions. We were 8-8. We were 4 better wins than what we had the year before. We blew some games, so I thought we could mature from those games. And I just thought that he was building something there. And for them to take it away, it's hard for me to say, is because a lot of people that you talk to back there, they say, well, look, he's been there for 4 years, and I said, and it's hard for me to argue with that because I've only been there 1 year.
But I thought you were going to make the playoffs this year, too. And then that Houston game, boy, and Boomer, I saw Boomer quoted as saying there's some guys on his team that didn't really want it badly enough. And Boomer didn't look that great himself the last month or so.
Yeah, we had some problems there at the end of the year. And I'll be the first one to tell you, it's not one person. It's a team. And if you look at yesterday's game, I mean, everybody talks about the 49er defense. It's a team game, and we all have to go out there and make plays. We all have to go out there and do things, but you just can't blame it on one area. And when you start doing that, you're just divisive, and it lends to not having a cohesive unit. And I would like to think that if that's how Boomer really feels, that he's going to try to rectify that and get it going in the right direction for our team next year, because you need everybody.
Well, what was going on with you? Because I remember seeing the Houston game and then another game previously. You were, and they weren't clear, the TV commentators weren't, but you were very upset about something.
I was upset because I thought the referees were not making the call for us. I'll be the first one to tell you, but that's just trying to bring a certain intensity to the game. And I think that anytime I'm in a situation like that where I'm getting embarrassed, I'm going to be upset. I'm not one of those guys that's going to walk off the football field going, hey, I put in my day's work and it's over with. I don't like to go through that. I don't like that feeling, don't like that taste in my mouth. And, sitting there yesterday watching both games, I didn't like it. I don't like that I don't like those type of games. It's not good football, and it's something that's very difficult to live with as a person. And I think you can get more out of yourself, and I don't know. I feel that way as a person, and I guess I'll probably be like that the rest of my life.
What was your feeling about Joe yesterday? Obviously, he had a horrible day. In fact, Ira Miller was just on with me, and he said that some network executive told him that after the game, Joe told the Buffalo that he hoped that they beat the bleep out of San Francisco if they played him.
Yeah, I talked to Joe, and he didn't say anything like that. So, I mean, everybody has a story of what this executive says. But, you know, I talked to him, and unfortunately yesterday he had he said he couldn't get a grip on the ball early in the game. Maybe it was the weather, but I didn't get a chance to say, hey, what was the problem? But just asked him, how he felt, and he was coherent enough to tell me that, his head hit the turf, and it was just one of those. And when I saw it, I knew that it was going to hurt because of when you finish a play, you have a tendency to relax, and that's what happened. He finished the play, he threw the ball, and he started to relax. Next thing you know, a couple of guys sandwiched him. He hit the ground, and I think that his body didn't respond quick enough to tense up, and his head snapped on the turf. And he said that once his head hit the turf, it kind of shot a pain sensation from ear to ear, and he kind of went black on him.
Yeah, which is certainly understandable. Chuck Nevius in his column today, implied that maybe it might be time for. I mean, you never want to tell Joe when to quit because when he's healthy, he can still play the game great. But how many more hits, can a guy take and come out of the game okay?
I don't know. I don't know if you can do that when you're 22. I don't know how many hits you can take when you're 22, how many hits you can take when you're 25, how many hits you can take when you're 37, how many baskets can you make when you're 40. I mean, we all want to, have an opinion on how someone should live their lives, and I'll be the first one to tell you I won't make that decision at this time. And it's hard. It's hard for people. It's just hard for all of us to accept certain things in our life because we live a lot of times vicariously through people. So
sure.
We want to make that opinion. We want to say that, hey, this is the right thing for him. We all sit back and say, God, Ali, man, God, why did you keep fighting? And yet we were the same fans that were sitting there going, he's the best, he's the greatest. So, I mean, I know C-Dub, and I understand his intention, and I'm sure that they're all, in the best intentions of Joe, but, only Joe can make that decision.
Now, you're going to be back with the Jets next year, right?
Last year.
This is going to be the last year for sure?
Last year. It looks like it's going to be my last year. That's what I'm looking at right now, and just looking up to go out and try to have some fun, play another, hopefully a good season, and see if we can get into the playoffs and then try to hang them up.
Well, listen, everybody certainly wishes you the best, Ronnie, and I hope we get a chance to talk to you again soon. And again, folks can see you at the OT restaurant there in Emeryville. But we really appreciate you coming on. I know that you're a real busy guy, and it was a tough year for you because, again, I really thought the Jets were, we're heading for the playoffs.
Yeah, it was a tough year, and I tell you, like I sit here, like I said earlier, it was tough just yesterday, looking at that game, both games, because I thought that both teams were going to win, and it was a tough end of the season.
Just quickly in closing here, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I'm gonna say Dallas is going to win the Super Bowl because I think Dallas is going to go out and play sound football. They're not going to turn the ball over. They're going to do all the things that you have to do to win games. I like to think that they're a talented football team. They got some great athletes. But
I mean, you should know you played Buffalo twice and Dallas once,
yeah,
right?
but Rob, I think the thing is, when we played Buffalo twice, we were able to stay in the game with Buffalo because of the mistakes they make.
Right.
If Buffalo doesn't make mistakes, they're a very tough team to beat. That's just the nature of this game. A lot of times we have a tendency to not look at ourselves and say, hey, if we play our type of game, we could win. And a lot of times in this sport, the reason that we don't win is because we don't take care of our own jobs. And I just think that Dallas is one of those types of teams that right now they are forcing the issues, and they're not guilty of turning the ball over. They're not guilty of doing the Leon Lett things that they have done in the past. So.
All right, Ronnie. Listen, thanks again. A lot of good luck, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again soon.
All right, Ralph. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on, man. You take care of yourself.
Sure. Anytime you want to come on, just give us a call. Ronnie Lott here on KNBR 68, the sports leader.
You wouldn't put water in your car's gas tank.